Good morning, Sacramento. Good morning, Amy. We are back with another brunch. We've got a couple great guests today. We've got Cody Stark heading on here in a second from Good Day Sacramento. We've got Elena from Pug Rescue, and of course, we have got Amy LaBelle.
Hi.
My favorite people here. You will know her from the Capeless Crusaders and the shop. She's the first you see at Free Comic Book Day.
Usually. This year was a little sketch, but hey, I did show up and I made the terrible same joke. And one of our regulars, thank you, Mr. Perlman. I made a Ron Perlman joke and I hadn't made it in a year and a half and he still knew it was me on the phone. So if all else fails, that works, I guess.
Maybe that absolutely works. In fact, we'll talk about this in a second because we got Cody coming up. But Amy, you were an absolute lifesaver on Free Comic Book Day for me. So thank you very much for that. So let's welcome Cody to the show and just get going this morning.
Hi.
There's the man. How are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm good. It's not like 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm very excited.
True. You're always up super early.
Yeah. I know. I can't even imagine that kind of morning. No, we let you sleep until a little. Well, I assume you're up at like 6 no matter what, right?
No, I am not a morning person. It is all a lie. There is like I get up at 2 o'clock every day, and there's like a 4-minute window where I can't have any sort of sharp object anywhere near me, or I will harm myself.
What about the treadmill, though? Like, you get up. So I have been following your exercise escapades with the cats and then with you on the treadmill. So how are we working up with that? And does that count as a sharp object? Like, you on that treadmill? Are you okay? Do we need like supervision?
It's well, yes, I do need supervision, but it's the only way I can get through the day. Our show is 6.5 hours long, so I have to get up and then run on the treadmill for like 30-40 minutes or something like that to get my brain going, and then I get to work and start doing the thing. But yeah, I count the cats every day. I have a cat census.
So how's the cat census today? I know Jen would love to know. Only 2?
Oh, 2 cats, 2 indoor cats. No outdoor so far.
My census is 2 outdoor cats. So if we're doing a group tally, we're up to 2 indoor and 2 outdoor. I don't know how Ben's doing. He's got pugs.
Mine is 0. Unfortunately.
I was promised there would not be math. I'm very upset.
I mean, we could get you mimosas. Are we working on that one? Hey.
Yeah, I didn't know we were all getting mimosas, or I would have joined in on this.
This would be so much more interesting if they let me drink all the time.
And good morning, Dana. Good morning, Skip. How are you guys doing? Where are we right now, Cody? You've got this beautiful setting behind you.
You're at Casa de Cody. This is my backyard.
Oh, we get a little
pool over there. A little pool over there. A palm tree. My neighbor's tree behind me. Oh, Bonnie and Jack live there. That's where my neighbors, Bonnie and Jack. So this is the infamous fence. We have a thing called the fence delivery system. Bonnie does not know how to cook for just the 2 of them. So when she makes extra, she calls me and she goes, meet me at the fence. And there will be a bag on the fence with foodstuffs.
It's just a delivery system. God. Like, it's just a hook with a bag. There's no pulleys. Yeah. There's no like ding, ding, a bell. You might need a bell.
No, I've been working on like having some sort of door that we can move, to go through, or a combined pizza oven. But she realized what I would do. Like, she would put the pizza in the oven and I would take it on my side and just kind of steal it. So she won't go with the pizza oven.
I'm for that.
That sounds absolutely amazing.
Right? We're for communal pizza ovens.
We got a neighbor next door, Alice. She's wonderful. They have a family that owns 3 houses in the area. And so they tore the fences down. And it's nonstop gardens and fruit. So every once in a while, we'll just walk out our door and there's a bag of vegetables and fruit. It's absolutely
amazing. Nice.
Yes. That's the jam.
It most definitely.
Do you guys want to hear my crazy mom fence story?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys know I'm from Alabama, and and so My sisters both live, well, one sister was living across the street from my mom, and there was a 1-lane road, and she decided that was too difficult, so they bought the house next door and then removed part of the fence so they could go back and forth. And this became very important because when the last space shuttle was going to fly, my dad wanted to see it. Now, I worked in Orlando, Florida for 2 summers as a Jungle Cruise skipper. My parents never came to visit. But when my dad decided he wanted to see the last space shuttle fly, he made this big trip happen. So the night before the trip was supposed to happen, this tornado hit Huntsville, Alabama, where my parents live. And I don't know why this wasn't a bigger story, but it actually hit the nuclear power plant in Huntsville, Alabama. But it hit the cables coming out of it, didn't hit the cooling towers and stuff. But Huntsville was without power for like 2 weeks. So this thing happened the night before my dad was going to leave on this big trip. He was going to drive to see the space shuttle. And my dad woke up, and they were like, oh, well, I have to cancel this trip. And my mom was like, no, John, you go. This is your dream. You just go. So he did. He left my mom in the dark by herself in this house as he took off to see the space shuttle fly. So I kept trying to call my mom. I was like, Mom, are you okay? And she would pick up her phone. Like 3 days later, she finally realized that she could plug her phone into the car to power it and stuff. And I was talking to my mom, and I was like, how are you doing? She goes, oh, it's okay. The neighbors, we get that hole in the fence. They just come by and they come by and check on me and everything. She goes, but the only problem is all the food in the freezers is going bad. And I said, the freezers, there's just the 2 of them in this house. She goes, the freezers, yeah, you know how it is. You get 1 or 2 freezers. Next thing you know, you got 8. And I was like, no, I do not know. How do you get 8 freezers?
You collect them.
You got 8 freezers. So apparently, yeah, there's a hole in the ozone layer above my parents' houses, and they've got all the coolant you would never need.
Well, how many are filled with ice cream is the best question that I think I'm going to ask. Exactly.
Well, yeah, I was kind of ice cream or where is exactly his grandma?
Oh, no. I mean,
I don't know.
She's doing good. Like, she's in there somewhere, keeping cool. Baby.
She's in there somewhere.
Now he made it to the launch then.
He did. He got to see the launch. But he left my mom in the dark.
Well, she had all those freezers, and she had the neighbor with the hole in the fence. Everybody's good. Yeah. You know how it is, Amy. You get 1 or 2 freezers, and the next thing you know, you got 8. Exactly. It's cats. It's, pugs. It's comic books. It's pops. Like, it happens. 1 or 2.
On a freezer census, I only have 1.
Is it the one on your fridge? It's on top of your fridge? Because I have one on the top of my fridge, and then I have just a small other deep freezer, but that's for shenanigans and ice cream.
Oh.
No bodies. No bodies. Cody, no, Cody, there's no bodies.
Shenanigan flavored ice cream?
Yes, always. Always shenanigan flavored ice cream. Where else am I going to get it? Like, I need some Blue Bonnet. We'll get some banana split ice cream. We'll be solid. Like, let's go.
Now, Jen Monson has said, thank you for coming to Sacramento, Cody. What brought you to Sacramento?
So I married a Hoosier. A person from Indiana is called a Hoosier, but she had left the state of Indiana and she had moved to Southern California. And then I met her in Los Angeles when I was working in Indianapolis, and we met and we got married. Like 5 months later, it was crazy. It's a crazy long story. But we got married, and then I moved her from Southern California back to Indianapolis, and she cried every day during the winters. And so the first job that popped up was on CBS 13. Like one day, it was like, oh, this job's open. So I just sent a tape, and then I got here.
Yeah. And Jen also wants to know exactly when we're supposed to be expecting your pop. Like, this whole Funko craze. We need a Cody Stark pop. I mean,
well, the Funko guy, the guy that makes it, it kind of looks like me. If you just add a little bow tie to it, that's all they have to do. It's so easy.
I mean, we could take you down we could take you up to Everett, or you could go down to the Los Angeles Funko shop and build yourself a pop. I mean, we could clip in your baby ties. It'd be good.
Wait, can you go down there and build pops?
Yeah.
I had no
Really?
idea.
Yeah, it's part of this. I'm full of random information. Yes. But yeah, you can actually go down to the Funko store there's one in Hollywood. And then, of course, their headquarters up in Everett, Washington. And you can actually build your own custom pop. So you can put in your different head, your body, whatever you like. Even Jen didn't know that. Yes, I have power or information, I guess.
Wow.
Maybe.
Well, I got to go. I've got to go to Everett. I'll see you guys later.
It's like all the stuff I want to build is down there. I need to go to Disneyland so I can make myself a droid.
I mean,
everyone wants the lightsaber, but I want the droid.
Well, the funny
shirt?
Oh, so the funny thing is, I totally forgot that Cody was a skipper for ages and ages. And today I had a kerfuffle with my shirt. So I put on, because when you're in Northern California and you're really desperate for Disney, and they've closed all of your Disney stores because they're jerks. Sorry, Disney. You go to the Walt Disney Family Museum at the Presidio, and you go do the entire experience.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so while I was there, I picked up the Disneyland e-ticket shirt.
Oh, yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
So that is what I am wearing.
Sweet.
And there's not enough Disney in my day. But you need a droid.
Have you guys ever heard my
have
you guys ever heard my Jungle Cruise story, how I got on the Jungle Cruise?
No, but I need to know, because I was going to ask you for my at least a couple of your spiels or your shticks when you would be spinning that wheel and taking us down.
Oh, look out! So when I was 6, I grew up in Alabama, and I was pretty poor, and my parents saved up to take. Oh, hey, Auburn! Well, I'm a War Eagle man. So we go down to Disney World in Orlando, and the skipper put his hat on me and let me drive the boat. And I turned to my mom and I said, when I grow up, I will be a Jungle Cruise skipper. And so I graduated high school. I have no money for college. I have no plan. So I just go down to Disney, and I told them the story, and they're like, that's pretty dumb. Okay, come on. You're a Jungle Cruise skipper. And that's how it happened. I should have said, when I grow up, I want to be CEO of D, but so I said age 18.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome!
Now, I love your young Cody voice. What? How come old Cody doesn't sound like that?
Old Cody had kids. That's why old Cody.
I used to play up my southern. Yeah, older Cody. When I was on the Jungle Cruise, I would play up my southern accent. My name was Coyote Cody, and so I would play up my southern accent, and people went nuts for it. And then I would go on break, and then all the people I worked with were like, "Wait a second, you don't really talk like that?" No, I don't really talk like.
But they loved it. And speaking of the kids, how's the family today? What are you guys gonna do?
So we fostered some kittens. We try to do it every summer. It's really fun, and my daughter and my wife really do it. I just kind of play with them every once in a while. And so 2 of the foster kittens, our first batch, are actually moving to Atlanta now. So they're going to go visit the cats before they go to Atlanta, and then I'm going to go over to neighbor Jack's house and watch the 49ers game. And so kind to take delay watching a game until after this broadcast.
And it is, I don't know what it's like where you guys are at, but it's finally beautiful out there. There's blue skies. It's only going to be like 90 today. Oh. It's so wonderful.
I mean, we go on the river or anything else, but it's like those levels. I don't trust it just yet. I'm excited for the weather. I'm excited that it's clear. It was cool enough. I opened the doors and the windows, and the entire house was just cool the entire morning. But I really want to get out either on a lake or the river or a puddle. Like,
you can get those little kiddie pools and put it in the back.
I could, but then, I'd have to invite Cody, and I'd ask him to wear his skipper hat, and I need terrible jokes, and then we have to practice bow tying, and we have to talk about Marvel, and that actually does remind me, Cody, have you had a chance to see The Rock's The Jungle Cruise movie?
I have seen the Rock's Jungle Cruise movie. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I thought it was great.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm trying to like collect opinions because one of my podcast mates is a massive Rock fan, and anything The Rock's in, even Scorpion King, Lord help us all, he's like, it's the best thing since sliced bread, and I'm like, I don't know about that with that CGI, my friend.
I loved it. I thought it was great. Cruise ships, we're all like The Rock. People don't know that. It's the polyester shirt that really, ruined the whole illusion for people when you ride the Jungle Cruise, but we're really built like The Rock.
Of course.
Good to know. Good to know.
Of course. Jen says she's waiting for your American River Jungle Cruise.
This is cool. That would be pretty funny. Guess who I talked to last week? Oh,
your mom?
Did you guys see that? Hummingbird.
Yeah, I saw the hummingbird.
No, Mark Ebeneer. Do you guys know who Mark Ebeneer is?
No, but now I want to know.
He was a comic book writer. He was a production assistant with Kirby.
Oh, nice.
Shit, the front
with Jack
door.
Kirby. And so they've got like this new Marvel mini book coming out. Remember those little Marvel mini books they did back in the day? My uncle gave me one. It just fell apart. Now they have like a big version, which is like a 5x8 or something like that. So I wanted to talk to Mark about it, but he told a great Jack story. I said to him, did you guys have any idea that one day in the future, because back in the day, Marvel was not making any money. Nobody was making any money. Which is, as a matter of fact, a lot of them wouldn't even tell people they were working for comic books because they were afraid that everybody would make fun of them. And he said that Jack Kirby knew. Jack Kirby said one day this will explode and all these characters will be worth gajillions of dollars. And I was like, what? Jack Kirby knew that? That's amazing.
Yeah. He knew it, but God, it took forever.
Yeah.
Man.
But Cody, I really appreciate you taking some time to come down and talk with us this morning. And I really appreciate you doing it on your Sunday. But thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, for Good Day.
I will be there. If you want me to call you, I'll be up at 2.
You should call him. I mean, Ben doesn't sleep.
Just put the Facebook message is fine.
Oh no, he doesn't answer those. Wait, did I just let out the secret that you don't answer them?
Yeah. All right, sir. Well, thank you. You have a great day.
We finally found in our friendship.
Yes. Tell the family I said hi, and we will see you on the other side.
Bye, Cody.
Who do we have coming up next, Amy?
We have Elena Temples, which I'm really excited about because as a newly fledged pug owner, I have you as a resource, Ben, but Elena is like the boss lady coming from Pug Rescue of Northern California. So welcome to the show. Pug! Sorry.
Oh, look at that. I've got mine already too.
Mine's at the other place.
This is Fiona. This is Fiona. She is 4. We got her about a year and a half ago from the rescue.
And how old?
She's 4.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry.
She's 4, and she likes to get up at 3:30 every morning and runs this joint, and we let her.
Yeah, do you know what?
Noise?
Pardon?
Does she make noise at 3:30 in the morning?
Yes, she runs all over and she wakes our blind deaf one up, so he's excited. And I just keep setting my coffee maker earlier and earlier.
Oh my God,
It sounds like Fiona. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Ben.
Go ahead.
It sounds like Fiona might need to partner up with Cody, so that they've got some tag team.
I was gonna say so last night we had my brother and cousin over on Friday night. and my cousin, who I know doesn't watch this, so I can tell you anything I want. I love him, by the way. He didn't leave till like 3:00 in the morning. So, of course, we woke up at normal time. So last night we kept the pugs off the bed because they sleep with us. Like 2:30, we just hear these little feet, and then Rolly walking to my side of the bed, and then when I don't respond, walks around to Jen's. And we just should have put her on the bed.
Oh, we had 5. All 5 of ours used to sleep on the bed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for 10 years we had 5, and they all slept on the bed. And then when a couple of them ended up in the wheelchairs, I built a bed like level next to me on my side, and they'd sleep there so that I could, if they needed me in the middle of the night. But yeah, for years it was 5 of them. And you sleep like this, and you get like a little piece of pillow, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, but, we have. So my pug, his name is Lyle. He's about a year and a half. He's not here because I'm in another podcaster studio since I'm moving. But Lyle's good. But he snores probably the loudest I've ever heard any creature, human or otherwise, and it is brilliant. Like, it rattles cages and wakes everybody else up. And so I'm like, this is normal, right, guys? Right? This is normal? This is normal?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
My girls have always snored way louder than the boys. We've had 4 girls and 4 boys over the years. All of my girls, like a freight train coming through the middle of the room. Every single one of them. They're so funny. So it's a girl thing.
Jen says 5 pugs. It sounds like heaven. And I absolutely agree. My wife, however, will not let me have more than 2. 8 would be what I would want.
A small herd.
It's a lot. 5 is a lot, especially when they get older. But they're fun. And you know how it goes. Like, having pugs for 18 years, I have not had to bend over and pick a piece of food off the floor in 18 years. Never hits the floor. It's great.
It is. Well, let me introduce you to my 2 since I have them here. This one here is about 6 years old. This is Captain Dylan Hunt, the young one. She is the one with all of the energy still. And then my other one here, I've had 4 pugs so far. Our first was Emperor Nero. Our second was Inara. And then our third one, is the best dog I have ever had in my life. Sorry, Dylan. This is Roly Poly, and she is just the most fantastic thing.
She's the darling of the comic book store. I mean, there's not a day that you bring her in that somebody literally isn't so excited to see her. She walks up. Or my favorite is when she is on guard dog duty and she stands there and is whoa, 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 like at the door. It is the cutest thing.
Show us the picture of Lyle.
Oh yeah, like I got a couple.
We all have pugs here, so we have to take this opportunity to throw this stuff.
Like, if I was here, so wait, there's a camera. So that's Lyle being super frowny. Like, sorry about the ring, but he is the biggest goober. And then of course we have to get in a first baby picture of him. He's tiny. But I know I saw it come up that Phantom of Soap Operas was mentioning that her pug or their pug throws their food bowl when they don't have any food in it. And so I can attest that Lyle will pick up the bowl and cling it, because I have a metal bowl. So he picks it up and he clings it like it's a bell to get your attention. And then he sits there and he's like, excuse me, food now.
That is beautiful.
Isn't it funny? To me, they're not a breed. I think pugs are like a vibe. You have to, they're a certain kind of dog personality, and the people that they own are like a certain kind of personality. You got to like shrug things off. You got to laugh a lot. You got to just go with the flow. And because, they do what they want. I always tell people when they come to the rescue, when we have, deaf dogs, we get a lot of older deaf pugs. I'm like, do not let a deaf dog deter you from adopting them, because pugs don't listen to you anyway. And we just kind of let it go. We let them run the house and they run the show, and you laugh, and they ignore you, and we love it. And most pug owners, they keep getting them more and more. When they get more, because they're just a cool breed to have. And I think we single-handedly keep the Scotch like lint roller company. We keep them in business, the pug owners.
Yep.
We do. We most definitely do. And speaking of that, you're 100% correct, because when we got our first pug, we were living in an apartment, and my wife just finally said, "Hey, I want a dog, so I'm gonna get something small." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want a small dog." But we got a pug. I humored her, and a month later, I brought home the second one. It's been over since then. Like she at one point said, "What if we get a big dog instead of a pug next time?" And I'm like, "Well, then I guess we're gonna have 3 dogs, because there will always be 2 pugs."
Well, I grew up with poodles. My mom always had poodles. She didn't want any shedding. She wanted, great. And then I would go, when I got old enough, I would always go to the shelter, and I would find the most unadoptable, decrepit dog, and that's the one I would drag home. And my parents would say, "No, you're not bringing it home." And of course, it would stay. So when we got our first pug, my mom was like, "Oh, I don't know how you do with the hair and the shedding and the snorting." And then, within a year, my parents had their first pug. It was all over. Once you get one, you just, it's a total vibe. You got to have them. So
that was the first pug you ever got, and you got it from a shelter?
No, my first pug, our first 2 we got from breeders, because 18 years ago, that's when we got involved with the rescue, and we had gotten our pugs right before that. We didn't know about rescue, and the pug rescue itself was only a few years old. It was just like a handful of people that got together, and rescue at that time was just word of mouth. Internet was dial up. There wasn't Facebook. There wasn't, all of the ways to find out about rescue. And I actually went to one of the pug days down in Walnut Creek one day, a pug Sunday, and I met at the time the president of the rescue, and she was just wonderful and just amazing and everything. And from then on, we got involved. And because the volunteer base, there was maybe 10 of us. My husband and I, every weekend, we were on the road, drop the top and drive all over California and pick up pugs from shelters, people turning them in and things like that. So that's how it was the first couple of years. And our foster homes, they would have like 4 or 5 fosters at a time, because we had hardly any foster homes. And then once Facebook came and people got involved and people understood and got, more involved, we had more fosters, more volunteers, and our reach goes, beyond the borders of California and down into the Central Coast. So yeah, so now ever since then, all of ours have been through rescue, and we've always had like one from our hospice program. That is, I think this is the first time we haven't had one in quite a long time.
Now, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah. So before the show, we were talking, and you have, is their name Ollie? You were talking Ollie. So I kind of adore even just hearing about Ollie. So can you tell everybody about Ollie? And I know, because pugs are essentially, they're people, they're personalities. They're not just vibes. They are a person unto themselves. What is Ollie's personality? Because I think you mentioned that he's blind and deaf.
Yeah. All of our seniors have gone blind and deaf, every single senior. So we're used to it now. But he was our first foster. He was our first and only foster attempt, and 13 and a half years ago, and he's asleep on the couch. So you see how well that worked out for us. We're foster failures. But he was super active. He came in to the rescue at 6 months. The girl that had him, she was a young girl. She had a husky, and the husky and him had gotten in a tussle, and he lost his eye, and she couldn't pay to have the eye removed. So she left him at the vet and said, "I don't know what to do." So they called us, and we said, "Okay, we'll take him." They didn't have a foster at the time. And they said, "He's going to get adopted so quick because he's 6 months old. Everybody wants a puppy." They never went to rescue. Nobody wanted him because he only had one eye. And I was by the time he'd been here a couple months, we were like, we're not parting with him. And he's just the sweetest guy. And now he's got about 5% of his vision. And we have our house is covered in yoga mat material, which I found out from another pug owner years ago, which is amazing for when they get older. So he finds his way. He goes in and out the doggy door. He goes up the steps to the couch. When I take him for a walk, I forget he's blind sometimes and forget to pull him up because, he navigates so well. And now with her, because she's so active, he knows whenever she jumps on him that there's food, there's a treat, there's something going on. And so he perks up and he goes and he finds, but yeah, he's just super sweet. And, all of our pugs have always had all different personalities, all different body types. I mean, they come in all shapes, sizes, temperaments, everything. And we've never had any that were like super bonded or close. They all kind of like did their own thing. Even when we had 5, nobody like cuddled together or anything. They were just all like, yeah, we're here, we're hanging out. Total, chill attitude. So yeah, so he's very sweet.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Like I think probably Rolly is the best pug that I've met, hands down, but Ollie sounds like really, really up there. And I know Empire's Comics is literally throwing at us like, how can we support the Pug Rescue of NorCal? Do you have any events? Where can people find you? Who's up for adoption? Like, let's go. How do we support our pug community and support you?
So you can find us. We're on Instagram. I run our Facebook page, and then we have a webpage, pugpros.org. And then our Facebook page, it's Pug Rescue of Northern California or Pros. I'd have to check it out. But so you can share our posts, you can donate, you can adopt from us. We have events through Pet Food Express, and they're listed on our website. We have them all over each month. We do Roseville, Castro Valley, Burlingame, Benicia, and the fosters bring their pugs to those events and people can meet and greet. We don't adopt on the spot because we have a pretty lengthy adoption process where we screen people and then we do a home check and just, make sure that, it's a good fit for them. And then we always encourage people too, because we're seeing more and more people with young kids that want to get involved, and they'll message us. They're like, I know that, she's 8, she can't volunteer. Yes, she can. We encourage them to come to our adoption events. The kids will sit in the pens with the pugs up for adoption, play with them and interact. And I think it's great because I would have loved to have been involved in something like that when I was younger, but there wasn't anything. So we really encourage people with their kids if they get involved. But all of our upcoming events, we have a lot now coming up now that things are starting to change and open back up, and they do pug days and things like that. So check out our webpage. All of our events are listed there. If you want to adopt, the application process is there. If you want to foster, we always need fosters. We always need fosters for our hospice program, which is not necessarily how people think of hospice. It's just some pugs come in and they have like a lot of health issues, or they're going to need expensive medicine going forward. Maybe they're diabetic, maybe their back end is going. So they have a lot of years left, but they're just not a dog that maybe most people would want to adopt. So with our hospice program, you can permanently foster the dog. We pay all of their expenses, all of the medical, all you do is pay for food. So for people that like older pugs, but they maybe can't do the expense of vet bills and stuff, perfect. That's why I love it, because I love the older ones. And, anything they need, the rescue totally pays for everything. And it's cool. Our last foster, we got her at 7 and we had her till she was 14. Wow. So, yeah. So all kinds of ways to get involved. And you can always reach out to us on Facebook. I'm always chatting with people if you have questions, anything like that.
That's perfect. Well, thank you. That gives people a lot that they can do to help us support you guys. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. But I know you have some exciting plans, way more exciting than anything I have planned for the rest of the day. You're going out for some brunch and mimosas, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. My favorite way to spend a Sunday.
That is a perfect way to spend a Sunday. Again, thank you very much for joining us. Everybody look them up online, follow them, and if you're inclined to, please volunteer or support them in any way of the way she said.
You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Elena. We'll see you next time. And thank you, Fiona.
All right. Well, hey, Amy, there we are. They're gone. It just
I know. And now there's us. And you have your pugs, and I'm lacking pug. But hey, pugs.
That's all right. So you said you're moving, though.
Yeah. So I'm. I mean, ever since this pandemic rolled out, and we've had the You, Yourself, and You show over at 1120 Fulton Avenue, Sweet K for Empire's Comics Vault. I've only been able to come in and see you onesie twosies or lovingly I'm not going to say harass. I can't say lovingly harass our regulars over the phone, but I haven't got the opportunity to come in and work a proper Monday for quite a bit. But yeah, so I'm moving from my current location, which is a bit up the hill, maybe a little closer towards you. So I'll definitely be able to see you guys and the pugs and go through a lot of those back issues that you seem to keep putting out. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. No, and it's amazing. Like you said, it's because it's just me. We did the free comic book day, like we were talking about, and well, we didn't do free comic book day, everyone. So I didn't lie to you.
It was an attempt. It was an attempt, not an attempt. You tried to keep it on the low, but everybody knows that when there is a party for free comic book day, we come see our Uncle Ben at Empire's Comics Vault. Like, people just showed up. There were so many people.
And I was like, I can just do this myself. I don't need it. and I don't need any help. And then Amy walks in the door, and there's a line, like, ridiculous, people deep. The store's packed, and she immediately was on it. She's like, she's picked up, answered the phone, helped the customers, did stuff. So that was really appreciated.
So I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but the Crusaders know it. So my first free comic book day in California after I returned from the Great White North, not Minnesota or Wisconsin, but Alaska. My very first one was 2015 down at your shop. The Crusaders were actually podcasting from the parking lot. And so there's video footage of me on my very first free comic book day. Yeah, down here. Yes, with you. Which is even better because my oldest dressed up as Darth Vader. She met the heroic girls, the roller derby girls. She even got to take pictures with one of our guests for next week. And he was Storm Polio, of course, Mike. So I have pictures with her and Mike, Storm Polio. And then, ever since then, I ended up connecting with Patty, with Tony, with Jake, and with you. And we ended up doing Crack in the Vault. Yep. And then we ended up, after that, I got connected with the Crusaders in a crossover, and I started doing that. And then I got invited to be, the work on Mondays, which was still, it's one of my favorite jobs. I love working with you and for you. And why wouldn't I help out? We've got so many great people that are part of this community. And Kyron said it, this is your home, your community. We want to support you. And if you walked in, or I walked in one day and, Dan was putting up some shelves, or you needed something repainted, we're going to pitch in. You don't even have to ask half the time. Most of us just want to help you. You're home, man.
I appreciate it. And you're right. We have such an amazing community. I love all of you guys. And the community itself is just the artists, the writers, just the people who love them, the readers. It's really so good. And evidently 2015 was a monumental year for Free Comic Book Day, because Kyron said that was also his first Free Comic Book Day as a creator. So this was the day. This is when Amy entered, Kyron entered. And I remember Sarah winning something, didn't she, from the Heroic Girls?
She won a volume 1 from Heroic Girls. So shout out to John and Patty. Hey, I see you. She won a volume 1 of Lumberjanes. So Noelle Stevenson. It was all downhill from there. Brilliant. And it's probably you having Free Comic Book Day empowered her to feel comfortable to make recommendations for comic books for other people. We legitimately, this child at that point, oh my gosh, what was she, 7 or 8? I think she was 8. She walked into Barnes and Noble, and at that point she had been picking up everything. So we had Squirrel Girl, Moon Girl, and Devil Dinosaur. Gwen Poole hadn't come out. Lumberjanes. She started kind of trying to read Nimona. She was having some problems. She wasn't the best, but it's okay. We cover the gamut in my house. If you can't tell, I'm even in one of my fellow nerd studios. It's shiny back here. Yes, I mean, there's a gauntlet. I might take it home with me. But
notice.
No, I don't think they'll notice. But you empowered her to feel comfortable making recommendations to everybody about what their kids should be reading. And I think that speaks volume to the environment that you created, and just having a Free Comic Book Day where she could go to school, hand out comic books, and not worry about them, one, coming back, but two, sharing amazing stories, amazing creatives, amazing writers, and going, hey, if you're interested and you need some help learning about comic books, go see my Uncle Ben over at Empire's Comics Vault.
And I remember the stories too, because she would come into the store and she'd be like, I remember one time she was like, can we get this, Mom? And you were like, don't you have that? And she goes, well, I gave it to somebody at school. It's like she's passing them out. She's distributing comic books. She's like the front line for the next generation.
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, if you need another body, I know Jen was saying that we'd love to help out, and you're a reason that she's an artist, but literally she goes, can I come in and work? I'll work for comic books. Like, you have people who will work for comic books if you need things shuffled around. I mean, I know we don't support child labor, but if you need some help, wink, 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 I got a teenager capable.
Although I do not support child labor, there are plenty of back issues that need organizing. If they magically got so.
I don't know. We have opportunities for volunteer work that requires no ages. Like, support your community.
We just talked to them about that at the Pug Rescue, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you think it'd be okay for me to sit in the pen with all the pugs? She only said kids.
No. She didn't say that that's the only way you can volunteer. I mean, I understand that these pugs and the pug love that is required to maintain, I think it needs all types. I mean,
okay, good.
I think we'll be good.
When I went to pick up Dylan, and I had to drive all the way to Southern California to get her.
Oh, wow.
Because, I couldn't find a pug here. Like, it gets harder and harder. And when I got her, I couldn't find a pug that was not already taken in Sacramento. So I drove to get her, and I got to sit in a pen with like a dozen pugs. And it was because they were all like 8 weeks old. It was just the most incredible experience. And each one wanted your attention. You could fit like 5 in your lap. It was just so wonderful. And it was too short, unfortunately.
You're like, Jen, it's okay. I'll be home in like 3 weeks. I gotta make sure everybody gets home, gets to a good home. Like, I gotta make sure.
I was thinking, how many can I get in my arm? Still get to the car, open the door.
Just put them in your pockets. You put them in your pockets.
Yeah, they actually gonna fit. It's so amazing. Like, I don't think people understand. They are so tiny. You can fit them in your hands. Dylan, I could literally just hold in my hands. It was so ridiculous. But enough pugs. We talked about them. Let's talk. I started to do this with Kyron last week, but he hadn't seen it. Shang-Chi. Have you seen it?
Yes.
I gotta talk.
Yes.
What did you think?
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna try to stay spoiler free because it's double tandem. I loved it. Hashtag I loved it. Hashtag go see it. Hashtag there was so. I'm on the Crusaders. We did our Shang-Chi episode that'll be dropping, I think, in the next week or so. We didn't do the movie. We did the 2020, the 5 limited run from Jean Yang, which was kind of like a little bit of that catch. No spoil away. I see you, Kyron. But so it was kind of like, oh, where are we going to see the movie? One of our guys hadn't seen it. So at that point, I was the only person that had seen it. I guessed and I / part-time on the Filmlosophers, hence I have studio space. And we did a Shang-Chi spoiler-free episode. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. There's so many things you want to talk about and you can't.
A spoiler-free episode. What did you talk for like 5 minutes and then we're like, we can't tell you anything else.
No, so it actually turned into a really great episode where we talked about things we could. So the music, the impact of the music, the martial arts style that we could see in the trailer where we could kind of talk about that. Costuming, acting, avoiding a lot of things like creatures or locations or some of the deeper plots for storytelling. We talked about how trying to organize this as an origin story versus like the Captain America First Avenger and Iron Man, and how does that stack up? Where in the pantheon of Marvel movies do you fit Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi, pardon me? And where do you want to see, like, what do you want to see come from it? And it was moving. Like, I'm game to go. Do we need to go? Like, are we having a store outing? Do we get Patty? We go watch it again?
We go do it again. Yes.
We go do it again.
So yeah, where is that podcast available now? The one that you were just talking about?
Yeah. So the Film
Where can we
Philosophers.
find it?
Yeah, so Philosophers you can find on any of your streaming platforms, just like the Capeless Crusaders. You can check them out at filmphilosophers.com. I think they're like Philosophy 101. You can find them on Apple, Pandora, Spotify, Google Play, Libsyn, Audio Boom. Like any place you can find a podcast. Most of the time, the podcasts I'm with, we're like spread out. So
and it's spoiler free. So if you haven't seen it, go for it. And even if you've seen it, it sounds like they're going to be tackling aspects of it that most other podcasts won't be talking about, because they're going to just be like, oh my God, did you see? Whereas you guys had to work a little harder. So you're like, let's talk about the music. Let's talk about this scene.
Well, definitely with you too. Like, if we're going to talk about this movie, is there a space that you can talk about it without going, let's talk about insert really awesome moment here that we can't really talk about without spoiling it? Like, do you have something that's kind of, we saw in the trailer and we can kind of talk about, but not talk about?
So the one thing I can tell people, because it happens at the shop all the time, the one thing I can tell people is the lead actor was perfect. The scene they saw already in the trailer, the one on the bus, was just fantastic. And Awkwafina stole that entire movie because she was amazing. His co-star was like the best thing. I absolutely loved her. So other than that, I can't say anything because they didn't show you anything in the trailer.
Exactly.
And I appreciate that, because they always show you everything now.
Exactly, right?
It's just absolutely too much. So good. And then when are we dropping the Capeless Crusaders?
Oh, I know we recorded on Wednesday, so I think it might be in 2 weeks. I will definitely throw up. It's always the capelesscrusaders.com, your hub, your home away from home. We are the Capeless Crusaders almost everywhere except for Twitter, because we're the Capeless ones, because there was a dude that had the Twitter handle and got really angry at us. But it happens.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's some shade and some salt that man is never going to let go of that handle.
I mean, why didn't he just grab that candle then?
Like, there's a lot of people, like, I am always IJNU robot on everything. So I'm on Switch, Twitch, PlayStation, Xbox. I would say Venmo and Cash App, but if someone tries to break into my stuff, I'm going to be mad. But usually, if you see an IJNU robot, it's me. Okay. But trying to find on occasion some other ones where that one, the guy just got to first, and he was the Capeless Crusader. And we couldn't even do Capeless Crusaders with an S, because Twitter's like, no. So we're the Capeless ones. And he just got really angry at some point. And there was a fight even before I showed up in there. And there was some shade. And then he tried to get things. Man. There was some, like, I try to stay away from the Twitter zone on occasion, unless they're dropping something like, oh, I don't know, like that No Way Home trailer or something like that.
So it's okay. So they know where to find you. We're about to wrap up, but I just want to get a little Capeless updates here, because they're some of the best people. Matt and Barry, and of course the face of it, Mr. Steves, because he is on it, man. I see him all the time. How is everyone doing?
We're doing good for the most part. We have marked Mr. Manderson as safe from the Caldor fire, because he does live up towards El Dorado Hills. He just saw Shang-Chi the other night, and he's so excited. Steves has not seen it yet, which is the problem. Barry and I were the first ones on the map to see it. We were super excited. So Dr. Dr. Barry is his handle, so we call him the Doc. He's been doing great. He and his wife and his babies are doing, like, everybody's doing good. We're ready to get out and see each other. We're ready to get around a table to actually do some of our podcasting. So definitely check us out when you're able. But yeah, if you haven't seen Shang-Chi, I know Kyron had mentioned that, like, Simu Liu's dad, which is Tony Leung, this is his first English speaking, like, major role. The first time he's played a villain, like this. Just go
see it, everyone. Go see it. The spoiler-free podcast next week, of course, and you'll see it right there at the bottom. I don't need to do it, but Bex Francis, Sack, everybody. She was the one who organized the women in film that was in the shop a while ago, which was fire code capacity for the store, but
you
it
made
was
it
wonderful. No, we didn't exceed it. I'm sure we were right on.
we were
and
right
of
on
course,
the button. Bex is amazing about that.
right on it. Of course, Mike Solar, who you will know from the shop, as well as Storm Pulio and the 501st Legion. So we'll see you guys next Sunday, of course, with Amy at 10:30 a.m. as we talk to them. Thank you for joining us, Amy, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
See you next week. Bring your mimosas, Ben.